Okay, let's get into the news, you guys. Alright. So apparently Xbox has cut down support for 5,000 and 6,000 series. And that's just crazy, bro. Because apparently they still have 6,000 series in stock at like certain micro centers. Like people are still buying 6800 XTs, and the same 6800 XT comes with 16 gigabytes, which was something AMD has always had over NVIDIA. We'll give you guys that. Now, I ain't gonna lie, we'll give you guys that. AMD always give every product line typically more VRAM. From like the 7000 series has like 20 gigabytes for 7900 XT that people can buy for like 700 at some point. And then you got the 7900 XTX with like 24 gigabytes, pretty much on par with NVIDIA 4090. AMD has always been good when it came to VRAM. But the landscape has changed now to where it's not a guarantee. It's no longer a guarantee, you guys, that the product you buy will get proper driver support. I'm not even reading the article straight up yet because most of this text stuff, a lot of us follow the same news, so we just all tell it a different way. But 7,000, 9,000 series be the only one with GPU supports now, where NVIDIA literally still has support for 2,000 series cards, which I think 2,000 series cards is like 7 years old now. Release date of 2018. So yeah, that's not good for AMD. And I'm working on another video. It's a challenge in editing. I'm learning it, but pretty much it really looks like AMD isn't really doing as well as everybody been saying it was, because we don't see the numbers for 9,000 series on the Steam charts yet. And I got another video, I'm gonna get to it that. So it's looking pretty rough for AMD right now, man. And at this point, there's no telling what's really gonna come from them. So, all right, but it was pretty much saying how, in a rather shocking move, AMD has given the Radeon RX 6000 series and 5000 series GPU a partial retirement by removing it from the regular monthly game optimization cycle. While the monthly driver update will continue to support them, the game optimizations included will only be meant for 7000 and 9000 series. The monthly drive releases will address critical security vulnerabilities and fix bugs. What makes this move surprising is the fact that Radeon 6000 series is less than 4 years old. That's just freaking crazy, bro. And then gamers who have purchased these cards, those sold at extremely inflated prices because the 6000 series alongside with the 3000 series were released amid the cryptocurrency mining rush that saw miners soak up the GPU inventory. Yeah. So for those guys who paid that much, it's a sad day, bro. It's a sad day for freaking Radeon now. Uh, I bought a 9070 XT because I want to really make the switch to AMD, and now it's just starting to look like, what's the point of me doing that? So we can't promise in the future now. You would like to expect 7,000, 9,000 series to go way longer, but it's just no longer promised in this landscaping. AMD is just not. That's just not a good move, bro. It's not a good move. Like Nvidia might possibly end up becoming a monopoly. You guys, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Like, it's just the landscaping is changing, and AMD never misses the opportunity to miss an opportunity. So, yeah, there's that. Next news: Nintendo was just dealt with a big. All right. So next article: Nintendo was just dealt a big blow in his battle against Power World. It's actually a win, you guys. It's actually a win. So it would be hard to blame Nintendo for becoming used to getting its way when it comes to cores. In case after case, the Japanese behemoth crushes its prey, scoring millions in damages. But when it comes to the increasingly complex attempt to take down the enormous success of Creatures Collecting survival game Power World, Nintendo has just taken a big blow, being denied a vital patent. And one of the most peculiar twists of the lengthy battles between Pokemon owners, Nintendo, and Power World creators, Pocket Pier, Nintendo submitted a few new or revised patents to the courts to attempt to retrospectively claim rights to specific game mechanics. While some might very sensibly consider the idea of gaming mechanics being something someone could patent as anathema to all of art and creativity, and to be rank hypocrisy in an industry that's entirely built on top of mechanics created by previous generations. It is still somehow a thing, and a thing Nintendo was rather heavily relying on in its court case against Power World. When Power World first appeared in 2024 January, pretty much everyone's reaction was to laugh at the absolutely blatant copies of very familiar Pokemon that appeared in the game. It seems Nintendo wanted to take action, but soon or practices of their characters is a tricky business. So 8 months later, the company instead opted for going after Power World's creature capturing mechanics, throwing an orb that then captures the animal that are more that are most familiar from Pokemon games. And it's only got weirder when we finally get the details of the lawsuit in November of last year. It became apparent that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company were suing for less than 70 grand. And the basis for the case were all patents the company had failed in that year after Power has been released. These patents were cited, the first based on throwing a Pokeball to start combat, the second a tweak of an older patent to update it to capturing Pokemon in this wild, and the third, the most extraordinary, a claim to rights for a simple transition onto ridiculous creatures in the open worlds. Who hunts the monster hunters? Jump to today, and it seems this tactic isn't entirely panning out. Games Free noticed that the Japanese patent office suggested two of these three patents are pretty dubious. This issue, it seems, is Nintendo's attempt to update its former patents to include the more open world elements of Pokemon games. Since 2022, despite the wealth of prior examples of such mechanics appearing far earlier in other open world titles, according to Games Fury, the patents offered cited examples like Monster Hunter 4, Arc, and even Pocketeer own Craftopia. Oh, and it's to stick it home, Pokemon Go. So, yeah, it's just a lot of blabbing at this point. But pretty much, Nintendo is really trying to sue the world, and they failed, which is actually really a dub for us. Will this slow Nintendo down? I don't know. I had to really fill myself in because I heard about it, but I had to really read this live just to make sure I can grab what's really happening. You know, not just following what everybody's saying. I'm trying to really get multiple. And yeah, let's just continue. So apparently Nintendo lost this, and it's just a mess, bro. And it's crazy because Pokemon A to Z had just released, right? I got a Switch 2, y'all. And I just can't. I just can't. The fact that the game came out and they announced the DLC before the game was even released, bro. And my homeboy, my first cousin, he's a huge fanatic. And he was trying to tell me, like, bro, you need to get into it. It's a time, you know, because once I get my Switch, bro, we're going to be going at it. And I'm a hype because that's like my dog. So, like, we be rivaling and stuff. So, it's like, I wanted to, but it was like $100 for a goddamn Pokemon game. Like, I can't, bro. That's too much. So you got that right there. Nintendo is losing it. I don't even know how much Power Road even costs, bro. But I promise you, I know it's nowhere near what the heck they're charging. 22 goddamn dollars, y'all. $22, bro. Let me turn this down a little bit. All right, we doing this live, y'all. So there's the news with Nintendo. Hopefully, they finally starting to get a sense of humble pie and start slowing down on how they're moving. Cause I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I like my Nintendo, but I don't really play it. So I want to get a review for it. I mean, it's not that it's a bad console. It's just about my schedule and just how involved I am into the PC space. Nintendo is definitely a secondary. But I'll give Nintendo credit. I don't have a PlayStation 5 or Xbox. So there's that. But let's get back to the news. Xbox. We got to cut this off for Xbox, you guys. Xbox. Quarter one hardware sales is down, but the third-party content experience is better than expected performance. So the game revenues fell 2%, but it was a 1% growth in Xbox content and services. So they had published its financial results for the first quarter of FY26, reporting a 2% decrease in overall gaming revenue and an almost 30% drop in hardware sales. I mean, what the freak did they expect when they had all that going on? You know, but whatever. All the freaking 2 times the raise. They raised the prices of all the consoles twice. And then you had a 50% increase to your Game Pass Ultimate, which is stupid. So, yeah. But yeah, they had one up. After 3 months in it, blah, blah, blah. 77 billion up. So they're still up. Xbox is up. If you have anything to do with Xbox stocks right now, you're up. So offset by 1% growth. Blah, blah, blah. We delivered a strong start to the fiscal year, exceeding expectations across revenue, operating income, and earnings per share, said Microsoft CFO Amy Hood. Continued strength in the Microsoft Cloud reflects the growing customers' demand for the differentiated platform. They say they expect revenues of between 79 billion to 80.6 billion, representing a growth of between 14 and 16%. The freak. Yeah, Xbox has a plan. Yeah, see, they're just saying everything I was just saying to y'all. And yeah, they raised the freaking price to 33% for the Xbox development kits. I heard Switch 2 been having hard times with with their developer kits too. I don't know what it is, you guys. The economy is just changing in every way, every aspect. So there's that, y'all. Xbox has a plan. And despite their sales being down, Xbox still making a new console. They said that. And they still making Xbox everywhere, which showing their plan is working. Sony's already been doing it. Sony's already been bringing games to the PC, So Xbox, it's just time to up it even more. Let's give them guys Halo, PlayStation was like, man, let's give Xbox freaking Helldivers too. We're starting to see a evolution in the landscaping of gaming. And I'm here for it, y'all. Some people are really mad about it. I've been hearing that they say the older Gen Zs and the millennials are like upset about it, but I don't think it's nothing to really be upset about. Um, Nintendo need to be the only one to follow through. And once Nintendo can do that, that will shock me. I don't think it'll ever happen. But I could eat my own words, you guys. But anyways, that's the news I got for you guys, man. I'm wrap this up, man. We had three quick little ones we got to toss out. I'm still working on my video where I took some surveys, and you got some interesting results with these surveys when it comes to PC hardware related and monitors. So, all right, you guys, like, subscribe if you want to be in the loop of all the news, gaming news. We do gaming on my other channel. I got the Steam Deck review I'm working on, the Switch 2 review I'm working on. Just everything tech product news related. This is what this is for. So, like, subscribe. What y'all boys think about what's going on with this landscape, man? It just seems like every day is something new when it comes to this PC landscaping, bro. But all right, y'all boy, check in.